Let's get something straight. The world doesn't reward you for being educated. It rewards you for being valuable. And while millions are racking up student debt chasing degrees they'll never use, there's a growing army of dropouts, hustlers, and so-called failures who are out-earning Ivy League graduates. Why? Because they understand something most people don't. School trains you to follow rules, not to create value. Let's talk about it. We've been lied to since we were kids. Go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job, live happily ever after. That's the blueprint, right? But take a look around. That formula isn't just outdated, it's broken. College tuition is skyrocketing. Graduates are drowning in debt. And worst of all, they're working jobs that don't even require the degree they paid six figures for. Meanwhile, you've got high school dropouts building six-figure businesses, YouTubers with no formal education generating millions, and coders who taught themselves online getting hired by tech giants. So what's really going on here? The truth is, the traditional education system is a factory. It was designed in the industrial age to produce obedient workers, not creative thinkers. It rewards memorization, not innovation, compliance, not courage. And worst of all, it punishes failure, when failure is actually the greatest teacher in the real world. In school, you fail a test, you get a bad grade. In life, you fail a business, you learn, adapt, and come back stronger. The people winning today are the ones who learn from failure, take risks, and bet on themselves, not the ones playing it safe with a diploma. Think about this. Some of the richest people in the world are dropouts. Steve Jobs dropped out. So did Bill Gates. So did Mark Zuckerberg. These aren't flukes. These are people who realized early that school wasn't going to teach them how to create value. It was going to teach them how to follow someone else's path. And that's the key difference. School says, here's the path, walk it. But real success, real wealth, that comes from creating your own path. That's what entrepreneurs, creators, and high performers do. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for a degree, they move. Let's be clear. This isn't about being anti-education. It's about being anti-limited thinking. Education is powerful if you're learning the right things. But most schools aren't teaching financial literacy. They're not teaching sales or negotiation or investing or how to build a brand. They're not teaching you how to think, only what to think. And that's dangerous in a world where adaptability and creativity are more valuable than ever. Here's what's even crazier. Employers are starting to wake up. Google, Apple, Tesla, they've all removed college degree requirements from many of their jobs. Why? Because they care about what you can do, not what paper you have. Skills over degrees, proof over promises. And you know who's thriving in that environment? The dropouts, the self-taught, the rebels who refuse to let school define their potential. Now let's talk money. The average college graduate in the US earns around $55,000 per year. Sounds decent until you subtract the student loan payments, taxes, and the 4 to 6 years lost in classrooms. Meanwhile, someone who starts a business at 18 could be pulling in six figures by 21. Not always, of course, but the potential is massive, especially in today's creator economy, where one viral product, one smart hustle, or one valuable skill can completely change your life. You don't need a degree to sell something online. You don't need a degree to start a podcast, flip real estate, build an audience, or launch a brand. You need drive, discipline, and the guts to fail forward. That's what makes dropouts dangerous to the system, because they break the rules and win anyway. So why do most people still follow the traditional path? Fear of judgment, fear of disappointing their parents, fear of uncertainty. But here's the truth, certainty is an illusion. That safe degree, it's not safe if it locks you into a mediocre life. That stable job, it's not stable if you can get laid off tomorrow. The real security is in skills, adaptability, and self-reliance. That's what school should be teaching. But it's not. Instead, it teaches dependency. It teaches you to wait for instructions, raise your hand, follow the curriculum. But life doesn't come with a syllabus. The people who win in life are the ones who write their own rules. They ask questions no one else is asking. They take action before they feel ready. They treat life like a sandbox, not a classroom. Here's something they don't tell you. Dropping out is risky, but so is staying in school for the wrong reasons. So is spending $100K on a degree you don't care about. So is wasting your 20s in a system that trains you to be average. The biggest risk of all? Living a life that wasn't yours to begin with. That's the risk most people take, and it's the reason they stay poor. You've got two choices: be a product of the system or be a creator of your own destiny. One path is safe, predictable, and mediocre. The other is dangerous, chaotic, and full of upside. One gives you a piece of paper. The other gives you power. The question is, what do you want? Don't get it twisted. Success requires work. It doesn't matter if you drop out or graduate, you still need to grind. But here's the difference. The dropout has urgency. They don't have a safety net, so they move fast. They learn fast, they adapt. The graduate often waits for the right job, the right opportunity, the right approval. And by the time they realize the system doesn't care about them, it's too late. If you want to build wealth in this world, you need three things: skills, leverage, and courage. Skills to offer something valuable, leverage to scale your value, and courage to take risks when it matters. School gives you none of those by default, but the streets, the real world, that's where you build them, if you're paying attention. So here's the challenge. Question everything you were taught about success. Redefine what education means. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you want. And if you've already got a degree, fine. Use it, but don't let it define you. You're not your GP, you're not your diploma, you're what you do. And if you dropped out, good. Now go prove them wrong. And here's the wild part nobody's talking about. The longer you stay in the system, the harder it is to escape it. See, the system doesn't just teach you to follow orders, it conditions you to doubt yourself. It tells you that if you don't have the right credentials, you're not qualified. That if you don't have a professor's approval, you're not ready. That if you don't move in a straight line, you're lost. But the truth is, the straight line leads straight to average, and average is broke. You want to know who wins? The ones who make themselves undeniable. The ones who build skills so valuable that people can't ignore them. The ones who create, test, fail, rebuild, and repeat. That's how you build real confidence, not from a GPA, but from proof. Proof that you can solve problems. Proof that you can generate income. Proof that you don't need permission to win. Remind yourself this: if school disappeared tomorrow, what would you do? Would you know how to make money? Would you know how to market yourself? Would you know how to build something from scratch? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to start learning what actually matters. We live in the most connected, opportunity-rich era in human history. You can learn anything. You can build anything. You can earn from anywhere. So why are so many people still playing by rules written in the 1950s? It's simple. Comfort. Comfort is the real killer of potential. School makes you comfortable. A job makes you comfortable. But greatness? Greatness starts where comfort ends. So whether you dropped out, graduated, or never started, here's your wake-up call. The system doesn't owe you anything. No one's coming to save you. Your life is your business, and the sooner you treat it that way, the sooner you'll start seeing results. Because in the end, success doesn't care where you started. It only cares what you're willing to do about it.